Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have this HTC One M8 with me, and in this video we'll be doing the camera review for this HTC One M8. And this HTC One M8 is a very peculiar phone. As you can see, we have actually two cameras at the back. The main camera is a 4 megapixel shooter, which is UltraPixel. It has larger pixels according to HTC, so it does good in low lighting. And actually the flash is interesting. It has dual tone flash, so when you fire the flash at night, it's not very harsh. Actually, this is the secondary camera, but this is not used for taking pictures, but it does assist the main camera in focusing, and it also adds some interesting effects. The front facing camera is actually a 5 megapixel camera. The resolution is larger than the rear facing camera. And I've also shot some videos with the front facing camera. I'll show you that a bit later. And I've also shot a lot of pictures with this HTC One M8. It has some interesting modes. I'll show you all that. But first, let's look at the camera interface. And the camera actually fires pretty quickly. Let me bring some objects nearby to give you an idea. The camera performance I would say is interesting. That's the word I can say. And regarding focusing, if you notice, it's very fast to focus. You just in the video mode, and in the video mode also we can take a snap, for example, like this. But let me just go back to the normal mode. These are the modes that are supplied: camera, video, Zoe for selfies, and we also have dual capture where it can use the front facing as well as the rear facing camera, and panorama. Let's go to the camera mode, and we'll be shooting in the default auto mode. And if you just see, you tap in and it focuses, and there is almost no shutter lag. And in terms of focusing also, if you notice, it is very fast. And the good thing is here we are actually indoor, and this is kind of indoor lighting. And if you notice, the shots that I've taken, they came out to be pretty good. The biggest advantage of this UltraPixel is that even in low lighting and in artificial light, it can take some decent shots. But again, everything is not rosy with this one. Let me again first show you the modes. We have default, the auto mode, but we also have the HDR and the other modes. But you can also switch to the manual mode, and here you have control over almost every aspect of this device. So if you are kind of a pro, you can adjust everything. But for my testing, I tested it in the auto mode. Let us now just go back from this manual mode to the auto mode. Let me hit this back, and here, as you can see, we have some adjustments like ISO. You can adjust. We can adjust the exposure, auto white balance, and we also have this picture modes, which are kind of interesting. And here, if you click here, you go to the further settings that are available on this device. And these are kind of basic settings, and we can set the storage to SD card, etc. Let me just get out of this one. And yes, it's a good idea to set the storage to SD card. You can just add a SD card up to 128 gigs is supported. Thereby it will store everything directly on the SD card. One interesting thing that is there with this camera is its special effects. For example, let me just show you. Let's take this picture, and you can just go to this edit option over here, as you can see. And here you get to these special effects now. And to give you an idea, we have this first U focus, and using which you can just tap into an area, and as you can see, this is now sharper, this has become out of focus. So this is a great thing, and it does work pretty well on this one. Let me actually show you that via selecting some other shots. For example, let's take this shot, and let's apply that effect. Let's go to this effects again, edit, and let me hit that U focus. And as you can see now, the background, we have a lot of blur there, and we can also adjust the blur that you want. So that is nice, I would say. And actually you'll see that some of the sample shots that I'll show you a bit later, you can indeed get some very good effects. And the biggest advantage this device has over other devices is that you don't have to physically enable that mode. Whenever you take normal shots without the flash, this mode is on, and you can just later on go to the particular image and then use that effect. We also have this 3D dimension plus, and using which, as you can see, I'm just moving, and it gives you that 3D perspective about the picture. It does not work great with every picture, but let me just show you something. If I have, for example, let's try on this one, this image. If I go to edit, and if I use this 3D dimension, and as you can see, now I can move around. So yes, we have some interesting effects. and they do work, but I don't know how practical they are. And you can just save this image. For example, let's say you like this perspective, you can just save this and it will save the file. So that is interesting. And we also have the seasons, etc. Fancy effects like this that you have. Also, another thing is that this phone by default, if you go to the gallery, it does make a small Zoe, and we have an interesting thing called Zoe's, where it automatically creates a kind of a video, small video, 30-second video. Let me just show you this one. It does this on its own. So if you're taking a lot of snaps in a day, by the end of the day, it just makes a video like this automatically. It's a 30-second video. So that's also an interesting feature on this device. So as you can see, it adds the sound, etc. And you can share this video. It automatically adds all these effects, etc. As you can see, it's around a 30-second video that it makes. So that's Zoe, and you can share them if you want. So let me just get out of this one. And now let me actually show you the sample shots that I've taken with this HTC One M8. These pictures were shot with the HTC One M8 in auto mode, and as you can see outdoors, it can take some decent shots, but sometimes the auto exposure goes haywire and the pictures do not come out that great. I feel the auto exposure is just haywire, and sometimes it overexposes and sometimes it just underexposes. I would say it happens around 20% of the time. And as you can see, these are some good shots that I was able to take with the HTC One M8, and actually they are pretty sharp. And also, if there is no harsh lighting like this in shadowed areas, the pictures actually do come out to be really good. But in harsh lighting, I feel the dynamic contrast is not that great. And as you can see, just see the left and right side of the pictures, they are overexposed. Some more pictures that I took with the HTC One M8. In shadowed areas outdoors, it could take some good shots, but in harsh lighting, as you can see, the dynamic exposure is all over the place. This shot came out good as it was in a shadowed area. Now let me show you the video that I shot with this One M8. I'm recording this video with the HTC One M8 at the highest resolution possible, that is 1080p, and the audio is also being recorded by the internal microphone of this HTC One M8. This is at the default 1080p video recording. We also have a HDR mode in the video recording, but this is in the normal mode, and we do get tap to focus, so you can tap within a video. And it's a very windy day today, so there it might catch up a lot of wind noise. And you can hit the tap to focus, and let me just walk back. This is my roof garden, and I'm just going to slowly pan around now. It's a sunny day, actually very windy in fact, I would say. Let me move closer to an object like this. The autofocusing is there, but if you just tap into a subject, it quickly focuses. And this is kind of a shadowed area. And now let me just quickly move to a sunny area. This is a sunny area. Again, it's pretty windy today. So let me just walk back now. I'm walking normally. One thing I hate is that this HTC One M8 does not have any hardware-based optical image stabilization like the earlier M7. So this is the video recording with the HTC One M8 outdoors on a sunny day. Now these pictures were shot in semi-indoor conditions, and here I would say the HTC One M8 did pretty good. These were shot without the flash, and many of these smartphones have problem in this area, and relatively this HTC One M8 did a decent job here. And these were shot in very low lighting conditions, and here I see a little bit of blur, but compared to other Android phones, it did very well in my opinion. I'm recording this video with the HTC One M8's front-facing camera, which is a 5 megapixel shooter, and this should give you an idea how will be the video recording if you're doing video calls like Skype, etc., or using this camera for selfies. And one thing I have to say is that the 5 megapixel camera, it has a very wide vision, so it can capture a lot of if even 2 or 3 people are around, it can capture that. So this is the front facing camera. It also does have a HDR mode even for the front facing camera, but I found that the video quality does not improve that much in the HDR mode. Now this is the video recording with the HTC One M8's rear facing camera. This is in indoor conditions in artificial light. So this should give you an idea how will be the video recording if you do indoors in artificial light with the rear facing camera on this HTC One M8 that has a 4 megapixel UltraPixel camera. Now these pictures were taken in completely artificial light in my office, and here I have to say the HTC One M8 did very well. The flash was kept to auto, but the flash did not fire. Even then the pictures came out to be really good. So in low lighting, yes, definitely the HTC One M8 can take some decent pictures. This is a picture of Amit Bhavani which I took in auto mode when I went to his office, and later on I could just enable that U focus and I got this effects. So you can get this beautiful bokeh effects to any photograph that you take in the auto mode with this HTC One M8. So what do I feel about the camera performance of this HTC One M8? As we have seen from the sample pictures and videos, I would say the camera performance is kind of mediocre. Yes, in low lighting conditions, it does perform better than some of the other Android flagships. But if we start comparing it to other Android flagships like the Galaxy S5 or even the Xperia Z2, then I would say the camera performance is just mediocre. And the biggest gripe I have with this camera is in the auto mode, the exposure was all over the place. So you are not sure that you'll get a perfect shot every time. But apart from that, I would say some of the interesting modes that it has is that U focus mode, which is actually pretty interesting because you don't have to enable that mode every time. It is enabled by default, so any photograph you can just defocus if you want. So that is kind of interesting, but I do not like the fact that HTC omitted the optical image stabilization on this device. Hence, in low lighting conditions and in the video department particularly, the photographs and the video were a lot shaky to my liking. And also in terms of the video department, I was not happy with the video performance of this device. The videos that it took were not that great in my opinion. So I would say the camera is okay if you take occasional shots here and there, and for social media it's great. But if you'd like to blow up stuff and camera is a very high priority on your list, then definitely this HTC One M8 might not impress you that much. That does not mean that it cannot take some decent shots. Yes, as we have seen from the sample shots, it can take some decent shots. But again, if camera is a high priority, then I feel that the Galaxy S5 takes much better shots compared to this HTC One M8. I've also made some other videos on this HTC One M8, so check them out. And if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.